Okay, so it's a couple minutes after 2. Thank you everybody for joining us. It's funny, these calls, we usually get big registration and then we never know who actually is going to show up. So when we ask how many people have registered, we might get numbers that are like 20, 24, or more than that, and then we get 6 people. So this is and it goes up and down depending on the call, but yeah, there's lots of you today, which may prove to be a little complicated. Um, so I'm Brent Long. I am Director of Client Happiness for Fusion Design Group. We're a small creative studio that's all over the GTA now that we're fully remote. And I have been involved with the RGD since I've been a member, fully certified member since 2008. I've served on the board and I've been on the membership committee for, I don't know, what seems like 100 years. Under that purview, this running and moderating the Welcome Wagon along with Olivia, and Sissa is on this call somewhere, and she's helped with presentations. At some point, I'll turn it over to her, and she can take the reins. But for today, I'll keep it going. We have a lot to go over. I have a full presentation to kind of give you as a bunch of information in a very short period of time, which we will share with you after. And then Olivia is going to go through the RGD site from the membership side. So logged in to show you some of the benefits you have of being a member and being able to log in, things you can see that the general public cannot. So I'm gonna, with this many people, hopefully we can still do this because it's always a big, important part of these calls is to just go through each of the individuals. If you could just say who you are and sort of how you ended up becoming an RGD member and sort of what you like about being an RGD member or what led you to be an RGD member as succinctly as possible because we have so many people and we do have a lot of stuff to cover. And I'll start with somebody, and then that person, can you pick the next person? So I'll start with Olivia because she's my second in command on these calls. So go ahead, Olivia.
Thank you, Brent. My name is Olivia Baker-Sullivan. I'm based in Toronto. I've been an RGD member for 4 years, roughly. I joined RGD as a provisional member when I was starting my career to network with other people. And I am working now as a production designer. With that, I am going to popcorn it to the person to my right is Sonia Leon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sonia Leo. I like the way you pronounce my name, by the way. Very cool. I have been, oh my gosh, I designed, sorry, I've graduated since 1999 from Connoisseur College. So I've always wanted to become an RGD member. I never had the nerve to do it until now. So that's like 25 years plus. So I'm really, really happy to be here and excited and like it's full of emotions, right? Like I just want to be more involved with the design community. So I work independently and I find sometimes that could be lonesome. So I'm looking forward to being part of the community for sure. That's a big plus for me. And I will move on to Javier, I guess.
Hello, hello. You can hear me. Hello, everyone. I am Javier Reyes. I am based in Edmonton. I have been RGD member for 3 months, I think so. I got registered on December at the end of the year, and it has been a very amazing ride. So far, I have been participating as a mentor, and the main goal for me to be in these beautiful places, as Sonia mentioned, is to build community. I was searching, I was looking for it, and I found that RGD is one of the biggest community across the country, and I feel that I am in the right place. We were to meet everyone.
So can you
I need
pick
to I need
somebody
to pick
else?
Raya. I need to
Yeah.
pick Jets. I'm gonna pick Ariba.
Hello, I'm Ariba. I recently graduated from product design and business from the University of Waterloo. I recently found out about RGD just by chance because I saw somebody on LinkedIn in November, and then in January, I was like, oh, I'm really interested in the end of year conference that's going to happen in Toronto. So let me just join the community right now. So I'm a product designer and I'm also a multimedia artist where I'm exploring like art and technology. And I'm really happy to be connected with all of you. I'll Cindy Guo.
Oh, hi. My name is Cindy. I joined RGD like recently. I just recently graduated last year, and I just wanted to try and see if I can learn more about like the community surrounding graphic designers in Canada. So I joined this trying to see what's going on like right now in the current scene.
Where are you, Cindy?
I'm currently in Richmond Hill, so Ontario. And yeah, guess I can move this to Aquila Samson. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Aquila from Winnipeg. I've been a member of the GDC DesCan for probably over a decade, and recently found myself unemployed and decided to finally take the leap to also join RGD as a way to connect now that I'm not so much set on working in-house or like in office. I'm open to remote stuff. So been in the industry for 20 plus years and recently went back to school for UX, UI, web development. Let's go with Christine.
Hi there, I'm from Edmonton. I've recently joined RGD in January, I think it was, on the recommendation of a friend who she's works with another lady in the company they have. She's a project manager and her friend's the graphic designer. But yeah, I've been raising my kids for the last 20 years, and I worked in graphic design before that, but have been kind of falling out of it a little bit in the last few years. So I thought this is a great way to try and brush up my skills and meet the community. And I'll pick Jim Hopkins.
Thanks, Christine. Excuse me. Yeah, my name's Jem. I've been doing the design thing for about 20 years now, self-taught mainly. Obviously, there's been people on the way that I've learned from. I'm based in Ottawa, which might be quite unique. It sounds a lot of people from Toronto and around Canada, but yeah, I'm in Ottawa. I'm trying to help elevate Ottawa's design. There is a design community, trust me, and I'm being participant in RGD. I'm hoping that will help. Broaden that kind of scope. So yeah, I'm really, given my 20 years, I'm really hoping to give back, quite honestly. Like I've been doing it for so long that you kind of forget how much experience you end up, garnering. And I hope that through, all the different channels in RGD, Slack being one, doing webinars, doing other talks, that I'll be able to kind of impart some of the stuff that I've learned along the way, and hopefully still learn as well. Like I'm really looking forward to some of the other webinars and the writing and all the stuff that's going to come my way. So yeah, I'm excited to join in, and I'll hand over to Rowan as the next one.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rowan. I am based in Jasper, Alberta. I have been doing the graphic design thing for maybe like 10-ish years now. I've worked for the municipality of Jasper for 5 years. My title is big and long, but essentially I'm the graphic designer. And I guess as the only designer on staff for the municipality and living so remotely, I'm just looking to reconnect with the design community. I was really engaged with RGD when I was going to college in Ontario, and I'm excited to be back into the fold, as it were. And I will pass it to Cisa Morgado.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad. I'm in Alberta too.
Oh, hey.
So I'm Cisa. I'm based in Airdrie, Alberta. I am a brand and e-commerce designer. I started my journey with the RGD when I was a student RGD back in 2017. And fun fact, I was awarded an RGD membership, like provincial membership in 2020. So I've been with the RGD ever since, involved with a couple of initiatives, virtual community, membership committee, and book club in 2026. I usually say that the association has so much to offer, and the more you give, the more you get. So I'm really excited to meet you all and welcome. I'll pass it on to Ismail.
Hi everyone. So I'm Ismail. I'm from Morocco and a newcomer here in Toronto. It's been 6 months in Canada. Amazing country, amazing city, to be honest. So I'm a graphic designer. I mainly focus on brand design for now 10 years. I've been working in-house designer in a studio, working a lot with NGOs, big corporation like Coca-Cola, and mainly also creating campaigns that we do. In last years, I got the opportunity to work with one of our national campaigns fundraising for people with disabilities, and we got the chance to raise $500,000 for these NGOs, and also working for a hotel, a rebranding of a hotel in the airport. It was a really amazing experience. After the rebranding, they got 140% occupancy rate, which was amazing because they sell half days room. So it was a good experience to have. So I discovered RGD after the first week that I arrived to Canada. There was a big event, not a big event, an event where you go and discover studios, in studios, something like that. It was really good. So I subscribed for 3 or 4 visits, and it was a really good experience. And from that point, I thought that let's see how I can join. And I got certified 1 month ago after 3 months preparing the case studies. I put a lot of energy on it because I really want to do something good. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for having me with you today.
Awesome. Can
I
you
need to
pick somebody
pass.
else?
I don't know who passed or who not.
Okay,
Olivia.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep track here. Kim, I don't think you've spoken yet.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm also from Edmonton, Alberta. I've been with RGD for a month or two now, and I'm a junior graphic designer at Arta. I was inspired to join the RGD by my manager, Virginia, and I'm excited to see what the RGD offers. And I'll pass it to Ryan.
I'm Ryan. I'm not a member. I'm an affiliate member, but I have been around RGD for quite a while. I started my career in Toronto and worked for out to Winnipeg, and RGD at that time a little less important to me because it was still just very much an Ontario association. And now for the last 10 years, I'm out in Vancouver working here. I've always been a freelancer. Started my career working in studios, but I've been a freelancer for the last I don't know, 15 years or more. And one of my clients, a huge paper, full disclosure, is recommended that I check out the RGD. And like I have been aware of RGD, and I follow the newsletter and all the events and whatnot. But this is my first chance to kind of see what the community has to offer. So I'm looking forward to engaging more because, as I said, as a freelancer, when you're working independent all the time, you kind of miss out on the community aspect of what designers have to offer. So thank you. I don't know who's left to present. So.
Okay. Nicholas?
Yes, yeah, happy to meet everyone. Hope everyone doing as well. My name is Nicholas. I'm from Montreal, Quebec. I handle sales and project for a company called Alto Aluminum. And yeah, we were involved in a lot of projects and conferences with an association in the US called SCGV, which is a graphic design association in the US. And a lot of our clients, our designer clients in Canada, are members of RGD. So I was curious to see what RGD was all about and what are the events, conferences, stuff like that to kind of stay in line with the design trends and yeah, and different what's happening in the design world in Canada. So really happy to be a new member of RGD. And once again, I have no idea who's left to talk. So Brent, I'll pass along to you.
Yeah, no problem. I think we're down to the last two. Is it Stephen or Sturfin?
It's Steven, yes.
Okay.
Steven with a PH, which makes no sense at all. Yeah, thanks.
But
Thanks,
there's
Brent.
an R in there in what's listed, so I wasn't sure
Oh, there's
how
an
I
R?
should say that.
Oh, that's probably a typo. Whatever. Yeah, my name is Steve McEachran. I am the creative advisor at Peel Region, just outside of Toronto. I live about an hour outside of Toronto. Our team just got a group membership with RGD. We've had members on the team for years. So we've been going to Design Thinkers for 10 plus years, taking advantage of the great conferences and all the tutorials that RGD puts together. We'll all sit around a computer at lunch and check it out. So it's such a great organization. Really happy to be involved. So we'll have to see where it goes. But design is everything. I love illustration, graphic design. I design my own house. I love coding and web, and everything is design. So that's the life, man. Thanks very much, Brett. Back to you.
Hillary, you should write his name down. It sounds like he's an overachiever. He probably wants to be on all the committees. I think we just have one left. Amanpreet? Sorry, I probably didn't do a good job with that.
No worries. I'm in free.
Amanpreet.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I kind of joined a little bit late here. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario, so also like a little hour out of Toronto. Um, I'm a recent grad from U of T, from CCIT, Communication, Culture, IT, and then art history. So I'm very new to all this. I'm unemployed, so I don't really have much to my portfolio. I'm working on that. I was introduced to RGD from my professor who got a few of his students the student RGD membership so that we could apply to the competitions. And then I was able to get an honorable mention in advertising. So that gets you 6 free months of the RGD membership, and I'm trying to take advantage of that as much as I can. I signed up for the mentorship program, so hopefully some mentor is out there willing to help me with my portfolio and all that. But yeah, I really want to take advantage of every single part, including like this session is and meeting everyone is really helpful. That's all. Thank you.
That's awesome. I think that's everybody. If anybody hasn't spoken yet, please say so now. Otherwise, we're gonna get going. I actually think congratulations to everybody. We got through that pretty quick considering we have 17, 18 people on this call, and we're only at 20 after. So I'm going to go through a presentation and go over some of the highlights of RGD. And then, yeah, Olivia is going to take over and go over the website. And then hopefully we'll have a bit of time for Q&A at the end if anybody has any questions. And then usually we follow up within a week or so with the presentation, and then that gives you access to Hillary, Zaria, Olivia, and myself if you have any questions that didn't come up today. And it also will give you the presentation itself so you could read it a little bit slower. One of the great things about this call is, we get to meet so many different people, designers from more and more, like somebody said earlier, from across Canada, which is so amazing, and outside of Canada. But I think this is the most more senior designers we've had on a call. I think usually we have a pretty good mix. Today, today it seems like we have a lot of people with a fair amount of experience in the industry, which is great to have. It's nice to have people following the regular journey from student sort of, just coming out of school and in that in between area and then going on to be a fully certified designer later in their career. And usually that happens in the first sort of 10 years. And so it sounds like there's a lot of people on this call that have definitely had 10 plus years of experience in the industry. So that's pretty amazing. And I like to hear that because I am very old. Okay.
Oh, Brent, I just wanted to
Yep.
add, if people do want to put questions in the chat, I'm sure Sesame and Olivia can try to answer, and we'll also try to put some links in the chat too, just related to stuff that comes up.
Awesome. Okay. Can everybody see the presentation and it just moved? It's nothing worse than just starting it and everybody's like, you're still on the first page. So, you and us. And I mean, that's a great way to sort of position the RGD as an association because as it's great that everybody already, even as newer members, and some of you that are just getting to know RGD, some of you that have become members that have known about it for a long time, really, it's great to hear that everybody's already getting out of it what we want, which is a sense of community. And on a lot of these calls, one of the biggest things since COVID, and sort of like saying Happy New Year still in February, we're still talking about COVID, going on 6 years now. But a lot of people in our industry, there was a lot of people that worked freelance before, but now with so many people working fully remotely or in a hybrid situation, there's a lot of us that are working alone. And I think, creative people as very passionate, individuals, I think that can be tough. And that's one of the biggest things we hear on these calls is that's what people are looking for out of the association is trying to get connection from our community and having some kind of outreach, some kind of place to find people like-minded, creative intellectuals. So through RGD, Canadian designers exchange ideas, educate and inspire, set professional standards, and build a strong, supportive community dedicated to advocating for the value of design. So that just sums it up. We have about 4,700 members made up of everything that you can think of. We have all the different levels of all the different membership types. And then we have all kinds of, people of different, you know, from seniors to juniors to students to people that are, that are on the fringes of graphic design as well. So some of them are designers and some of them might be project managers. But, obviously we have firm owners, we have people that are in education. We really cover the gamut. Communications, it's one of the things we do a great job of. There's so many different ways to communicate. So we have obviously the website, all the social media channels, which we have a ton of followings for. So lots of information on that on a regular basis. And then emails, including RGD Word, which I always highlight because I think that's sort of the key. That's the one that's always hit my inbox and kind of provides you with that hub of information. So you can kind of quickly scan it, everything from jobs to highlighting volunteers of the month, members' work, what's going on with events, all that kind of thing. And then you can go to the website and get more details. And obviously, there's all kinds of other ways you can follow, but those are sort of the two main ones. And that newsletter is great. All of our networking, Slack is a big part of how we connect. There's tons of channels. What's listed there is only a small tidbit of what we have. And we always say if you're on Slack and you don't see a channel that you think should be there, that would draw attention from a certain niche group that that would interest you. If it interests you, it's quite possible it's going to interest other people. Virtual communities and local events. Trivia nights have become a thing in the last, I don't know, 6 months to a year. They seem to have picked up steam. Obviously, you have workshops, lectures, minds of design. We we've been doing, obviously we do in the last 5 years, we've done a ton of virtual meetups and everything is available for you to do on your computer. But there is a little bit of a resurgence of doing in-person social events. People seem more interested. They seem more comfortable going to things. And so we actually have people in different regions setting up their own and coordinating that. And if you're one of those people that's like, hey, I know 5 or 6 people that are in Ottawa that might want to get together for a trivia night or just to get together or an actual meetup in person, please reach out and we can help you coordinate that. We have lots of different awards that go on a regular basis. They're sort of cyclical right now. The in-house design awards, which just closed on the 20th of this month, so last week. And then we also have the branding awards, which are coming up June 5th. So there's still lots of time to get stuff in for that. And the branding awards, you can find everything on rgd.ca. You can also email that, and I will send this around after so people can actually click on that. But you've got lots of time. Branding awards actually is encompasses a lot of different types of designs. It's not just some people are like, oh, it wasn't a logo project, so I didn't enter, and it's so much more than that. So you really have to go on and look at what kind of projects you could enter with. We have lots of different weekly webinars, all kinds of different hot topics. Some stuff has been going on for a long time. Some stuff pops up based on, whatever sort of trending. So you just have to keep on top of the events section of the website, but also the email newsletter that comes out. One of the things that a lot of members don't realize is that you have access to guest passes. So they're free to us as members, but as a certified RGD, you get 30 guest passes, and then 15 for associates and 10 for affiliates. So you can invite non-members to come to these, and it's a great way. Obviously, from our perspective, from a membership perspective, it's a great way to introduce people to what the RGD is doing, but it also gives you the ability to share the benefits that you're getting as a member with other designers and people in the community that aren't members yet. Conferences, big part of what RGD does. And I think I'll take a moment just as we talk about the conferences. Somebody else mentioned, a few people mentioned different associations, both in the States and in Canada. And one of the great things about RGD is we actually have paid staff. So we have, I think, 8 paid staff. Is that right, Hillary? Something around that? 10. Crazy. So I don't know what everybody knows about different associations, but there's a lot of associations out there that are run fully by volunteers. And if you've ever been part of a different association that is run fully by volunteers, it's hard because those people are working and trying to get stuff done. It's a lot of work. So one of the big benefits of RGD is we have an amazing paid staff. And I personally don't think it would be possible to do the Design Thinkers Conference, which we do in May in Vancouver and in October in Toronto. They are such a huge undertaking amongst everything else that happens during the year. And you always find that out at our AGM. Even when I was on the board years ago and in charge of the membership part of the equation, and how much stuff membership has done, and then you go to the AGM and you hear from everybody else's committees, it's like so much stuff is happening, all the time. It's crazy from all of these volunteers, but driven by the actual paid staff who do this full time. Um, Toronto is definitely the bigger of the two. 2,000 plus attendees in October. Sometimes it's October. This year it's October. Sometimes it's November in Toronto. Um, I and it, a lot of people think it's just for membership, but it's not. I believe we get probably more non-members than we do members going to that conference. And there isn't, as it says, there isn't anything else really like the Design Thinkers Conference in Canada. And I still think bang for the buck, it's one of the best ones. I mean, I remember years ago looking at the How conference down in the States, and it was like $1,200 or $1,300 or something for a few days, plus all the travel, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, if you can go to a conference for $400 or something along those lines, depending on when you buy your tickets, for 2 days, it's an amazing experience. And just, it's all of us. It's a whole bunch of creative people in one place. Sometimes you only see those people once a year. And then Vancouver is a smaller, about 500 or 600, very different vibe, but a lot of the same speakers, etc. You still get the same amount out of it. I actually go to both every year. I take my team. I'm based just in Toronto, and because they're very different, um, it's a great experience for the team. Plus, it's sort of a getaway for us to go and sort of talk strategy and spend a couple of days away from clients. So I highly recommend that. Design Educator Conference is May 28th, and that's tacked on to the Vancouver Design Thinkers right after. And then the in-house conference is June 16th. So depending on if you like all of those things or if some of them make more sense than others. Lots of resources, accessibility website. This used to have, there used to be a PDF book. Now there's an actual website. Great resource for everything that has to do with accessibility, AODA, compliance, et cetera, et cetera. I've always thought we do a great job of making it easy to understand a lot of, what's mandated and what you should be doing in any of your designs can be quite complicated. And this is a great way for designers to sort of explain it from everything from fonts to balance to colors, contrast, and everything that goes along those lines is covered. It's really good. The RGD handbook, Business of Graphic Design Handbook, great resource. I still have a printed copy just over there. I probably look at it on average, and I've been doing this for over 30 years. I probably still look at it once a month just for something or other. It covers a lot of different topics, and it's amazing. But you can get a PDF of it if you don't want the actual hard copy, even though it is beautifully designed. Volunteers, this is how we run. It's the engine behind RGD. We are very lucky, like I talked about before, but we have a ton of volunteers, that are making everything happen. And it really, designers supporting designers. I mean, that's one of our taglines, and it's true. I mean, we're here to help each other. And somebody else mentioned about, one of the things when you become a more senior designer, what can I do? And giving back is one of the biggest things. Students and younger designers are looking for information and just anything to understand what to do better, how to claw their way through this industry, how to start their own business, how to freelance and survive. And those of us that have been around for a long time, I mean, that's really what we have. That's our biggest gift, is that we can talk about and hopefully save younger designers from some of the mistakes that we've made along the way. Hopefully they can avoid some of those potholes. And so this is everything from working on the committees. There's numerous committees. Mentorship, somebody mentioned about mentorship, reviewing portfolios, contributing to the newsletter, judging awards. There's lots of different ways. And was it C said, did you say about, it's really about what you put into it? The association is really about, you can't, it's not an association, and I don't think any association is, but if you just pay your dues and just become a member, then you're not really going to get much out of it. Just, I mean, you can be reading stuff online, but where you really see, that community is getting involved and becoming a part of it, whether it's being senior and helping out and mentoring or using some of your experience to write, some things in the newsletter or, joining conversations on Slack, to, more junior people that just want to meet more people, expand their network. Virtual mentorship, I just talked about that a little bit. One of the great things about our mentorship program is that we don't just sort of jam a mentor and a mentee together. I know we really try hard to find out what the mentee is looking for, because if you're somebody that's in the UI UX space and you put them with somebody that's been doing illustration all their career, that's not really helpful for either party. So we try to make sure that, in the pool of both sides, that we try to pair them up with somebody that's relevant. And I think that's really important. And I think it's why it's been so successful. And I think it's fun for both sides. Virtual communities, there's a big list here. I'm not sure if this is an exhaustive list, but we have a lot of different virtual communities, and not unlike the Slack channels, and this does sort of mirror that a little bit. But if there's a community where you're like, oh man, there's designers in Ottawa, I'm not sure if that's there. We should figure out how to start a group that does that, and then you could be the one that sort of makes that happen. And it could be designers in the prairies. If there's a group of, if there's one person that wants to do it, more than likely there's other people, and that's how these things grow into the actual communities that we have. And it doesn't have to be 50 people. It could be 10. It could be 5. It's just a matter of putting communities together. So we have these little pockets of people that can talk and work with each other. Code of ethics, that's both in the book, but it's also a part on the website. And one of the key parts of the code of ethics falls under spec work. Free, fee, or flee has been an ongoing campaign with RGD for a very long time, and it's something that we do a lot of advocacy for. Everything from, you know, contests to, you know, companies just looking for ways to get free design done. It usually affects more junior designers, who are either in school or coming out of school. And we've all been there. If you're a more senior designer, you've been there where somebody said, oh, more work is coming. If you could just do this one for free, the next one, we could pay you. Or, can you just do this one this time and I can give you, other referrals. And, this will be great for your portfolio. You don't really have much in your portfolio. So think of it that way. I mean, we've all heard all of these excuses, and we work very hard to protect our designers and to make sure, I certainly have taken things from both the book and the website and cut and paste them and sent them to clients and said, this is why we can't do that. We don't provide concepts before we have a contract for a project or before you've paid us, a certain percentage of whatever the budget is up front. We don't do work for free. I mean, I know there is some confusion because advertising, architecture, there are a few industries that still do that. So I know it is confusing for depending on who you're working with, but this is our way of sort of standing up for ourselves and saying, this is why we don't do this. And it just distills everything that we stand for as creatives. Creative earners. I thought one came out in 2025 because we're in 2026 now. But if you go on creativeearners.ca, it's a cross-country survey all about salaries, and it breaks it down into role, position, type of company, the size of the company, where you're located, et cetera, et cetera. I'll be careful what I say because Hillary's on this call. As a firm owner, I've laughed with Ian, who sometimes does these with me as well, who's also a firm owner. I've had people sit down in interviews, and when you start to negotiate salaries, and they start going, well, I read the creative earners from RGD, and it says I should get paid this. And you're just like, oh, gosh. it's great that, it's a great resource for anybody who's trying to negotiate salaries because at least it gives you a foundation into what's happening across the country. And, you know, um, it's certainly a good starting point to give you some information. It's very scary for me. The events calendar, you can subscribe to this on your calendar so that everything gets auto-populated so you can see what's going on a regular basis. And there's a lot. And wow, that went by really fast. Okay, so now turn it over to Olivia.
Thank you. Amazing, Brent. Fabulous introduction. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm just going to share the whole thing because that's easier for me. Can I see a thumbs up if you're all seeing my screen? Amazing. Perfect. I can see you, Brent. Thank you. Awesome. So this portion is just getting you a little bit more familiarized with like the website and like what you can do to get started on it. As Brent helpfully showed throughout the presentation, there are many links that with this deck we'll be sending to you, so you can get those like links directly. However, the website is very like lovingly designed with a lovely interface. On the homepage, you can kind of see all of our latest articles, lots of fantastic launches, any upcoming events, all of the really important things. But one of the most important things is you now have your profile and you can log in through your profile. If you have any issues with logging in, you can let us know and we'll connect you with the right people. That's generally how I've done it in the past. But once you have your profile logged in, you can see your membership and you can see the Slack community that you can join, video library, different things you can access. These are like good things I think to get started with as you're like starting your profile. You can also add more things about who you are and what you do for work so that you can be findable on our platform, which is super cool. Easy spot to see also all of our like discounts, the kind of like parts of the membership that you can make great use of and sort through. But I also want to kind of take us through some of these like categories and starting with maybe one of the most important ones to me, at least, is when I joined this community was learning more about like virtual communities. So if there's like a community you identify with, this is how you join them. So we're going to click on virtual communities and you can apply to join. But it'll walk you through all the different communities that are available to you. So according to either your career, your stage, or like kind of smaller groups, communities you want to be a part of, you can select any one of these through our website and then apply to join. And it'll just ask you a few questions about your name, pronouns, what you do for work, and you'll get connected. You'll receive emails from the community leaders. And if you already have your Slack set up, you'll be added to the channel as well. So I definitely say getting your Slack started first, and then you can kind of like slowly encourage the ecosystem that then kind of follows through on the rest of RGD. So that's one example for connecting and learning through the community. There's also someone mentioned mentorship, the project-based mentorship application kind of information can all be found here. More information about volunteering and giving back is all here. So all the kind of stuff about kind of connecting with other designers is really great, easy to find through here. Hiring designers is if you are kind of looking for designers to add to your team, or if like your employer is asking, hey, how do I add someone? That's what this tab is for. So you can find a designer. And funnily enough, I have been found through this like new platform. I think it's like been very successful. I've had a few people find me and reach out to me, which is really sweet. And then we have working in design. So there are all of the resources Brent mentioned. So different guides, kind of categorizing based on like how you feel you are in your career and what you're doing. All of these super helpful things are all to be found in here, but they can also be found in your handy dandy search bar. So we just talked about our creative earners available for 2025. I could search it. I kind of see it right here, but for my example. we can see like articles about it. I'm sure Kyle, who is a lovely volunteer, has it linked somewhere in here or has something about how it's like upcoming. So there are things like you can read about through our website and our search engine. Yeah, I feel like this is a nice way to see the different stuff, ways to connect. But if you have any questions about the website, how it works, or hey, I'm having trouble with my profile, I would love to get help with that. Feel free to reach out to any of us. We'll help you as far as we can, and then forward you to one of our incredible staff members to get you going. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I feel like the site portion has become shorter after last year's redesign. So now I feel like it's a little more straightforward. But yeah, would love to open it up to the group. Unless you have any sort of final sort of notes, Brent, I'll pass it over to you.
No, that was great. Thank you. I think, yeah, because Ian used to just complain. He'd start talking about the website and then he'd just complain about it before the redesign and rebuild. So yeah, and even then, everybody knows what big websites are like. There was a transition period where it was better, but not great. But now, yeah, for sure, Olivia, now it's easier to walk through because it's more straightforward.
We still do get complaints about its speed. So
From
let
Ian?
everyone know just generally. So
Oh.
just know that we're working on the speed of the site because it is a little bit slow sometimes, or very
just
slow
packed with-
sometimes.
That's okay. It's just packed with really good stuff. If anybody has trouble, when I find that it loads slowly, opening it in an incognito tab is helpful. Also, clearing your cache removes all of the carryover imagery from the last time you visited the site. So that tends to help a little bit with page performance. That's like so much of my job is asking people to clear their cache. Awesome.
Okay,
Any
so
questions? Oh yeah.
We whipped through that pretty good considering. So we still have 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions?
Anybody who wants to volunteer for something. Oh, perfect. Let us know if there's something that takes your interest or fancy, and we can absolutely
Jim's
get you started right
volunteering.
now. Perfect. Thank you, Jim. Let us know what is it you would like to volunteer with helping.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, it is about. I was actually going to say, and thank you, Olivia and Brent, for all the explanations. There's almost an overwhelming amount of volunteer opportunities. So I was actually wondering, like, is there like someone you would, given my experience, like would connect with to walk through all the opportunities and suggest things, or is it more a case of try a few things? There's obviously only a finite amount of time, so I can't do everything. So maybe try this or try this, but given everyone has different experience doing different things, like maybe
How do you
there's someone
feel
to
about
connect
doing
with.
welcome wagons?
Why not? Why not? I've done one, so
Yeah. It's not hard. I mean, if I
yeah.
can do it.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, like there's only so much time. Like I have small kids, but I really want to give back. So I would love to know. I'm sure there've been other people in my experience who have tried a few things already and said, oh, you'd get more out of this. Again, there's almost an overwhelming amount of different things to be doing. And another part to that would be, obviously, there's a lot of support for designers, but is there support and resources for people who might want to develop support for those designers? Like, this is how you put together a presentation, or this is how you put together those kind of things that would help to give back. So just wondering if there's resources for people who want to put together resources.
That's fascinating.
Yes is the answer to all those things. So yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. And so if I'm listening and understanding the question correctly, what you might want to start with is more one-off things, like whether it's mentorship or portfolio reviews, because those aren't, once you get into a committee, there is the expectation, and it's only once a month. But I admit, like sometimes that's hard when you have so many meetings every day and everything else that's going on. It's one more meeting that gets scheduled. So yeah, I mean, it might be better to start off just dipping your toe into something like a mentorship opportunity, or doing portfolio reviews, which might happen a couple times a year, and you might do over the course, like I know there's something coming up for Georgian College at the end of March, which is a couple of days, and you can choose some time slots. Now, that kind of thing might be good for you, so you can get it on the calendar. You can do that. Certainly, things like writing for the newsletter, and it could be on a range of topics. Like sometimes you could ask, and a topic could be provided. Could you write about this, or could you write about this? But it also could be you exactly what you just said at the end. I was wondering, what about writing something or walking somebody through setting up a presentation for this kind of subject matter or something? Like, how do you, everything from strategy and how do you set that up, content, and then actually putting it together? That might be something that would be great, that could be used as a resource, would probably end up on the newsletter, as some kind of post. So yeah, lots of ways. And I think one-off things are a good way to get started without committing yourself too much. If I'm hearing you correctly, that you've already got a lot of stuff going on.
I will add, I just put a link in for Virtual Career Week. We're looking for portfolio reviewers / speed mentors. So you basically sign up for a minimum of 3 sessions for the week, and then students and recent graduates, we list you on the site, and then you can sign up for, or students and recent graduates sign up to meet with you at the times that work. And we are looking for project-based mentors right now. That is a specific program. If you search the site, you can see some examples where a senior designer works with a small group on a mock project over a 12 to 16 week period. It's all virtual. And the idea is that you're sort of creative directing them, giving them the experience of working on a project as close to the real thing as you can kind of do. We're also going to be looking for studios to host